Hello friends, welcome back to a new video. Today I'll read to you Spotlight on Canada. Okay, let's get into the book. Spotlight on Canada. Welcome to Canada. Welcome to Canada. Canada is the second largest country in the world. A country is an area of land that has people. It has laws or rules that the people must follow. A country also has borders. Borders separate countries from their neighbors. Canada has only one neighbor. The United States of America is south of Canada. Alaska, which is part of the United States, is northwest of Canada. Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is on the west coast of Canada. A coast is land that is beside an ocean. Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean is the coast of is on the coast of Canada. One sec. Canada is that bright green, yellowish color. USA, United States of America, is a darker, more recognizable green, and water is blue, obviously. Where on earth is Canada? Canada is part of the continent of North America. A continent is a huge area of land. There are 7 continents on earth. They are North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, and Oceania, and Antarctica. Find Canada on the map of the world shown below. So, as you can see, this is the map of the whole world, and Canada is right over here, in between North America. If you head a little bit more down, well, not a little bit, it's a lot, you come to South America. Then there's Europe, purple, Asia, which is this deep red, Africa, this yellowish color, Australia and Oceania is that greenish color, and Antarctica is white because it's so cold and it's just snow basically. Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean, Southern Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Arctic Ocean. And as you can see, obviously there's water between Europe and Canada, and Europe is to the east of Canada, and Asia is to the west, because the world is round, and if you just keep going round, then you would reach Asia. See? Watch this. So I start off here, and saying the world is round, I'd go like this, and around the earth. Pretend I'm around it, and then I come to the front, and here. This is where it touch Asia. And Africa is more to the it's not really to the east, not to the west. More why can't I remember the word? Anyways, which 3 oceans touch parts of Canada? So we can see Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, and Arctic Ocean. Which continent is across the Atlantic Ocean from Canada? It is Europe. Let's continue. 10 provinces. Canada is made up of 10 provinces and 3 territories. A province is an area of country that has its own government, government makes laws and looks after its people. A territory is area that is run by the country, federal or main government. Canada's federal government is located in Ottawa. Ottawa is the capital of Canada. Each province and territory also has a capital. The government of each province is located in its capital city. Ottawa is a beautiful city in province of Ontario. The Rideau Canal runs through the city. 1 second, we'll zoom in here. Let's zoom in here. Ottawa is a beautiful city in the province of Ontario. The Rideau Canal runs through the city. Let's zoom out. Now we're back. The Great Lakes are the largest group of freshwater lakes in the world. Freshwater has very little salt. So Lake Superior, which I have driven through before, very long for hours and hours and hours. That's all we saw to our right. Lake Huron, Lake Michigan, Lake Ontario, and Lake Erie. Okay. The names of the Great Lakes are Lake Huron, Lake Ontario, Lake Michigan, Lake Erie, and Lake Superior. To remember them, think of the word homes. So H for Huron, O for Ontario, M for Michigan, E for Erie, and S for Superior. Homes. Canada has thousands of lakes. It has more fresh water than most other countries have. Newfoundland and Labrador, St. John's, Prince Edward Island, and these are all the provinces. Charlottetown, Nova Scotia, Halifax, New Brunswick. Newfoundland and Labrador is the province. St. John's is the capital. Prince Edward Island is the province. Charlottetown is the capital. Nova Scotia is the province. Halifax is the capital. New Brunswick is the province. Fredericton is the capital. Ottawa is the capital city of Canada. Toronto is the capital city of Ontario. Winnipeg is the capital city of Manitoba. Regina is the capital city of Saskatchewan. Edmonton is the capital city of Alberta. British Columbia's capital city is Victoria. Yukon's capital city is Whitehorse. Mackenzie River flows through here. Northwest Territories capital is Yellowknife, and that's its name, Northwest Territories. Nunavut's capital city is Iqaluit, and that is it. I've went through Alberta, Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, Manitoba, and Ontario, and I live in Mississauga. The St. Lawrence River connects the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean. It also allows large ships to carry goods and from Canada. Canada's land. Canada is a beautiful country. It has many landscapes. A landscape is how it looks. Canada has thick forests, huge mountains, flat grassy areas, and some cold, snowy places. The picture on these pages shows some of Canada's landscapes. So let me get in this good zoom in. So this is sorry. Oh, why does this sorry. Sorry. I was trying to get the zoom in so we can. Okay, here. So this is the northern part of Canada is called the Arctic. It is covered with snow and ice for most of the year. Polar bears live in the Arctic. So this is a picture of polar bear and ice, and there's melted and there's water everywhere. Zoom out. Zoom in here. So here. This is one second. I'm sorry. Trying to get a good view, but I just can't. Okay, the land in Ontario and Quebec is good for farming. Grapes, apples, pears, and peaches grow there. This picture shows an apple orchard in Ontario. So this is an apple orchard. Let's zoom in here. So this is the other landscape. Large areas of Canada are rocky and contain minerals such as gold, silver, and copper. These areas are part of the Canadian Shield. Canadian Shield is a place where it's mostly in the southern parts of Canada, and it's just solid rock, and then there's soil above it. Trees roots, they don't grow in the soil. They because they can't grow in rock, they just spread along the soil that is you can see. And then if you keep on it wouldn't take long, just take, even with your hands you can do this, but don't want to get muddy, so you just take a stick and just poke a little hole, keep on poking it. In no time you will see solid rock, because there's just a small little layer of what do you call it, small little layer of soil, and then so that trees can grow, and other than that it's just rock. So here is our next landscape. There. So the Rocky Mountains are found in the provinces of Alberta and British Columbia. Many old forests grow in British Columbia. So there's a river, there are mountains. These are the Rocky Mountains. And zoom out. Prairies. So prairies are in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and parts of Alberta. And prairies are flat, grassy areas of land. Wheat and canola, shown above, grow there. Canola is used to make cooking oil. Saskatchewan's specialty is actually canola oil. You can find canola, the plant. So like there's many canolas growing in Saskatchewan. Now this. Let me show you the picture first. They're boats in water. So the Atlantic provinces are Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, and Labrador. and Labrador and Prince Edward Island. Many people who live in these provinces make a living from fishing. So, their specialty in Newfoundland, Labrador, and Prince Edward Island is fishing. Four seasons. Some people think Canada is always freezing cold, but it's not. Most of Canada has four seasons. They are spring, summer, fall, and winter. The climate is different in some parts of the country. However, some parts of Canada are hotter, colder, wetter, or drier than others. Here we go. So this is spring. In spring, flowers bloom in most parts of Canada. Summers. Summers can be hot. Many people go to the beach. Autumn or fall, you can say. Leaves turn beautiful colors in the fall. In winter, snow falls in most parts of Canada. So now, Canada's plants. Many kinds of plants grow in Canada. In spring and summer, flowers bloom, and trees grow new leaves. In the fall, many trees such as maple and oak trees lose their leaves. Other trees called conifers do not lose their leaves. The leaves of conifers are sharp needles that stay on the tree even in winter. Maple leaf forever. Maple leaf grow in every province of Canada. The maple tree is Canada's national plant. The colorful leaf on the maple tree is also a symbol of Canada. A symbol or sign is a sign or picture that stands for something else. A maple leaf appears in the middle of the Canadian flag, which is shown above. Let me zoom in for you. So this is the Canada flag. And the two colors that are used is red and white. And you can see the white is in the middle. Then it's kind of like a switchback. And there is what do you call it? A red maple leaf in the middle. So these are conifers. Conifers keep their leaves all year. Some people like to call them evergreen because they stay green forever. So you can see these pretty red and yellow flowers. In summer, beautiful flowers and other plants grow in Canada's Arctic. You can take a look at these. Very cute. Okay, my favorite part, this whole book, Canada's animals. I love animals. So, Canada's animals. Many kinds of animals live in different parts of Canada. The animals are suited to their habitats or national places where they live. Many animals live in Canada forests. Some live in or near water. Some animals even live in the freezing Arctic. Let's move in the first picture. So here you must identify this picture. It is a beaver. So, Canada's national animal is the beaver, like I just said. A long time ago, people came to Canada to trap beavers for their fur. People made hats and coats from the fur. Also, another thing that they did with beavers, they took all the flesh and everything out of the beaver, and they made beaver pallets. Meant it was only their skin and everything else was gone. And then later on, when beavers started running out and there were barely any beavers left, people decided to stop killing these poor beavers, and eventually they even became Canada's national animal. Here is a very obvious animal, the killer whale, or orcas. This is an orca, or you can call it a killer whale. Orcas live near British Columbia. Many gulls and some other birds live near there. The orca and the gulls shown above are looking for fish to eat in the ocean. So sometimes because some birds can smell fish, they come to get the fish, and then there's all sorts of animals just there to find fish, and that's mainly why there's an orca and birds. Ooh, one of my favorites. This is a wolverine. They might look pretty cute, just like a baby bear cub, you can call it, but they are very deadly, and don't let their cuteness get away with it. So don't go near these. Wolverine, and also one other thing, they don't hunt for small stuff, they hunt for big stuff. Wolverines are fierce animals that live in Canada's northern forest. They hunt moose and other large prey. See, use the word large. And moose, even like wolves have trouble hunting them, and these little small creatures, wolverines, actually can attack. Ooh, these are adorable. I have seen them myself too. One sec, let me get a good. Okay, so you can probably identify these right away. Canadian geese. I have when I went to Credit River in Mississauga, I saw a family of them, and they were just little baby ducks following their mother. Canadian geese live in Canada for most of the year. This mother goose is taking care of her goslings or baby geese. These are very common animals. You can see them almost about everywhere. Once when I was at the zoo with my family, I saw not a family, just two of these Canadian geese, because they're just hanging around everywhere. At school, it was a rainy day. They come in mostly like cool weathers. They don't come in warm weathers. They were hanging out in our school field. And obviously we weren't allowed to touch them though. Oh, a lynx. This is a lynx, and it has like little, its ears. You can identify it like this. It has little tips of fur on its ear. Canada lynx also live in northern forest. They hunt animals such as rabbits. So nothing too big. Just rabbits. Ooh, these are cute. So everyone knows this. I can't believe if someone didn't. This is a snowy owl. Snowy owls live in the Arctic. Their thick white feathers protect them from the freezing weather, and they are adorable. They're just the reason they're white is that it blends them in with the whole snow. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Mistakes happen. Hold on, I'm sorry. Something just went wrong. Let's just reload the page. I'm sorry, something went wrong. Perhaps it was a glitch. I don't know if this is the same thing you guys see on your screen, but yeah, we can't. Oh boy. We were reading Canada, sir. Which book were we on? Anyways, you guys are having an adventure. If I was watching a video like this, I'd be happy, kind of. Just saying. Oh, fine, I know where to find it. Let's go back. Travel the world. We will go to... There's all these books that we can read. There's so many, I think we were reading... No, this is not it. Where did our book go? No, okay, sorry. Just some sort of glitch. Probably because I pressed escape. Okay, anyways. Mistakes happen. Ooh, black bears. One of my favorites. These are black bears. Black bears and brown bears also live in Canada. These black bears live in a forest. So these are three. This must be the mom and our two little cubs. Okay, moving on. I'm sorry about the big incident that just happened. Native nations. The first people to live in Canada were Native peoples. Hundreds of native nations or groups lived across North America for thousands of years. Each nation has its own language, leader, and way of life. Some nations were farmers. They grew corn and other foods. Many also hunted animals and caught food in Canada's oceans, rivers, and lakes. Let's zoom into this picture. Some natives grew corn, beans, and squash. These plants grew well together. Some nations called the plants the Three Sisters. Natives that lived near forests found plenty of animals to hunt, such as turkey, beavers, and deer. Let's move on. The Inuit made stone statues called Inukshuk. So it looks like a huge person actually. And basically, what it did, Inukshuk showed the path to the people, and they pointed in the direction that they needed to go in. Native people called the Inuit. The native people called Inuit lived in the Arctic. They hunted seals and whales for food. They used seal skins to make warm clothing. The Hadia lived on Canada's northwest coast. They used cedar trees to make homes and carve beautiful totem poles. Totem poles are tall wooden sculptures. The Hadia also built boats called canoes. Some of canoes could carry many peoples and goods. And this is the canoe. And should I tell you what is amazing? These canoes still live up till today. You come to Canada and you can still ride on one of these canoes. And I think Banff National Park, you can go riding on a canoe. The Hadia made beautiful works of art, such as this cedar box. So that's pretty. Let's zoom in. Settlers from Europe. And that's a picture of a beaver. The first people, it came here. So remember never mind, I'll tell you when it comes. The first people from Europe to settle or live in Canada came from Iceland or Greenland. They settled in Newfoundland for a short time. In later years, people from France and England came to Canada. They came to trade for beaver pelts or furs with the native people. So remember those pallets I was talking about, or pelts? Those are what they took beaver skin and they made it completely hollow, and they traded it because before they didn't pay for stuff, right? They traded. So, and this you can see is a canoe. French fur traders came to Canada to trade goods for furs. The British also came to set up fur trading forts, such as the Hudson Bay Company. You know, if you live in Canada, you must know Hudson Bay, and a very common place. You can go there shopping. And Hudson Bay is coming back from a long time ago. In the beginning of Canada, when it was made, Hudson Bay is back from when both France and England wanted to control the land. The Loyalists. The United Empire Loyalists were the first large group of English-speaking settlers in Canada. The Loyalists were British people who had been living in what is now the United States. They moved to Canada after the American Revolution, which was won by the Americans in 1781. The Loyalists wanted to remain under the British rule. A Loyalist was a person who continued to support the King of England. The Loyalists fought for Britain. So, the Loyalists settled in Nova Scotia, Quebec, and what is now Ontario. Ontario is where I live. I live in Ontario. Ontario, Mississauga. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, Sir John and Macdonald. Becoming Canada. In 1867, the provinces of New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Quebec, and Ontario confederated or
Confederate. Confederate.
Were one to unite in confederacy. Okay. Can leave now. Okay. Confederated or joined together. They became a dominion.
Dominion.
Noun. 1. Domain. Supreme authority. Sovereignty. Okay. Dominion of Canada. The new country was still under British rule, but it had its own government as well. Years later, a railroad was built across the country. The railroad allowed the Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Alberta, and British Columbia to join the rest of Canada. The last province to become part of Canada was Newfoundland in 1949. Sir John A. Macdonald was the first Prime Minister of Canada. And the men above who created the country of Canada are known as Fathers of Confederation. So these are the people who created Canada, or men. Canada's government works in the Parliament buildings of Ottawa. Ottawa is the capital city of all of Canada. So that is why it the Parliament buildings is in Ottawa. Canada's government. Canada's government are a parliamentary system. It is made up of two parts: the the Senate and the House of Commons. Members of the Senate are called senators, are chosen by the Prime Minister's members of Parliament. MPs are chosen by the people of Canada. They respect the people in the House of Commons. The senators and MPs create and pass law that all Canadians must obey. Members of Parliament meet in the House of Commons, shown above. So this is the picture. Okay, Canadian people. Oh, this is something that is obvious about Canada. The population of Canada is over 33 million people. Population is the number of people who live in a country. People who live in a country are called Canadians. Canadians are a multicultural country. Live in a multicultural country, or a country made up of many cultures. Culture is the way of a group of people lives. Canadians have different beliefs, customs, music, food, and celebration. These flags are flown on Boys' Day, a tradition celebrated by many Japanese boys in Canada. Boys' Day, that's weird. This Canadian family is multicultural. The children have Japanese, Hungarian, Swedish, and British backgrounds. Whoa. They are holding maple leaves to show they're proud to be Canadians. Whoa, they're literally from everywhere. Who are Canadians? Canadians don't look all the same. Many have come from other countries. Most Canadians speak English or French, or both. I speak English and I'm learning to speak French, so I guess that counts. I speak both. Many people in Canada speak other languages as well. Canadians are proud of their country and cultures. These pictures show young Canadians from different backgrounds having fun together. You can take a look. So these 4 people are friends and these 4 people are friends. Anyways, will I have to sing that? I'm not going to sing that. Okay, English and French are Canada's official languages. An official language is used in government and in businesses. Children also learn both languages at school. Yes, I learned French and I learned French only because everyone in my school knows English. These languages came from British and French people who first settled in Canada. The fleur-de-lis is Quebec's symbol. So the national anthem is O Canada. A national anthem is a country's song. People sing their national anthem to show they are proud of their country. Here are the words to O Canada in English and French. I am not going to sing this, so I'll just skip this. English is the main language spoken in most parts of Canada. French is the main language in the province of Quebec. In Quebec, many newspapers, radio, and television shows and street signs are in French. The old part of Quebec City looks like it did hundreds of years ago. The streets are made of cobblestones. Cobblestones are small round stones that once used to make roads. Chetty Frontenac. I can't read that. It's hard to say. Quebec City is one of the oldest cities in North America. A beautiful old hotel called Chetty Frontenac towers over the city. The hotel opened in 1893 and has become a symbol of Quebec City. Is that a hotel? That is huge and beautiful. Oh, it looks beautiful. Does it show over all of Quebec City? And is it supposed to be built up high, or does it go deep down? Is my question. And let me take a look. Canada's cities. Canada has many cities. Some are very big. Canada's biggest city is Toronto. It is located in the province of Ontario. Montreal is another big city. It is in the province of Quebec. A picture on these pages show some of Canada's many cities. They are great places to live. I have went to Toronto and it was so busy. We were just there for hours, standing in line. So many cars. The third largest city in Canada is Vancouver, British Columbia. Vancouver has the third largest city in Canada is Vancouver, British Columbia. Those are two different places. Okay. Vancouver has been named one of the best cities in the world in which to live. The beautiful city has mountains on one side and the Pacific on the other. In Vancouver, it hardly ever snows. What? It hardly ever snows in winter, but sometimes it sometimes rains a lot. So it looks beautiful, the water fresh. Maybe a place I might want to live in. So yeah, this is the CN Tower. It's a large building, has a little circlish thing. Toronto is located on the shores of Lake Ontario. Lake Ontario, there are many tall buildings in this busy city. The tallest building is the CN Tower. Now, if you are living in Mississauga and you go to Lake Ontario and Jack Darling Park, which I've went to before, you can stand on a rock and look far, and you can see the CN Tower standing up, and it stands out a lot as you look at it. Montreal is Canada's second largest city. It is beautiful. It is a beautiful city with some very old buildings, and you can tell right away by looking at this picture, it is an old city. Calgary, Alberta, which I have. The first time I moved to Canada, just like on the last topic, I read that it's a free country, so I haven't been born in Canada. When I moved to Canada, we first lived in Calgary, Calgary, Alberta, is famous for the Stampede. Yes. The Stampede is a large rodeo that lasts 10 days every summer. So rodeo means where those cowboy people have horses, they tame them, they do all sorts of tricks. Halifax is located on the Atlantic Ocean coast of Nova Scotia. It is called the Gateway to Canada. Outdoor fun. Canadians love the outdoors. In winter, they enjoy ice skating or playing hockey on frozen ponds and canals. In summer, many people enjoy hiking, camping, and water sports. Canada's national sport is lacrosse. Lacrosse is played by two teams on a field. Lacrosse's players use sticks with nets on them, shown below. These are some people playing lacrosse. It's a lacrosse stick. You can see there's this girl. She's holding a stick and there's a net on it. So and there's a little ball. You throw it and you have to catch it in the net. And then there's a big net where you have to score it into. Lots of nets. Many people spend time in Canadian parks and wilderness areas. Some children learn how to paddle canoes at summer camps. And you can see there's a person in a canoe. In winter, many people ski on Canada's huge Rocky Mountains. And you can see there's two people skiing. Many boys and girls play soccer in Canada. They start playing when they are very young. My brother, he loves to play soccer. In summer, both kids and dogs love to cool off in water. There's a girl, and she's pulling the leaves of her dog because dogs love water. And just the opposite, cats hate water. Oh my god, it's a cornucopia. Okay, Canadian holidays. Canadians celebrate many holidays. Some are national holidays. National holidays honor Canada and its history. July 1 is Canada Day. July 1 has already passed. And if you don't know, in my channel, I have posted a special series just for Canada Day. It was on this day that Canada became a country. Canadians celebrate their country's birthday with parades, barbecues, and fireworks. Canadians love their country. On Canada Day, there are fireworks across the country. These fireworks are in the city of Edmonton, Alberta. Not specifically. They're literally everywhere. But I lived in Alberta, and I went to in Edmonton, Alberta, more specifically. When I lived there, we went to downtown to go see the fireworks shows. Canadians love. Oh yeah, I read this. In Niagara Falls on the Lake Ontario, there's a huge birthday cake on Canada. If there was a birthday cake, we heard of it because this year there's been the coronavirus and we can't go anywhere. So yeah. On May 24th, Canadians celebrate Victoria Day. This holiday honors the birthday of Queen Victoria. Victoria was a queen of England, where Canada was under British rule. Queen Victoria's husband, Prince Albert, bought the tradition of decorating Christmas trees from Germany to England. The tradition shown right here then came to Canada. You know, Christmas where you decorate the old trees and stuff. You get a holiday off. June 4th is Quebec's National Day, or Fête Nationale. People all over the province have parades, parties, bonfires, and fireworks. Bonfires. Puppy doesn't have the meaning.
Bonfire.
Oh, a large outdoor fire. And fireworks to celebrate Quebec's French culture. Quebec's flag flies everywhere. So that is how it looks. Thanksgiving is celebrated on the second Monday of October. On this day, Canadians enjoy special meals with their families and give thanks for all they have. Native peoples in Canada began this tradition long ago. Each fall they held feasts and gave thanks for the autumn harvest. And if you guys do not know what this is what you call a cornucopia. This is like a little shell thing, and you just stuff a bunch of fruits inside. Yeah. So, wonders of Canada. Canada has many national wonders. They are in different parts of the country. In Ontario, a huge waterfall called Niagara Falls, obviously, shown above, is the best known wonders of the world. The name Niagara comes from a native word meaning thundering water. It is the biggest waterfall in the whole world. But now that they've in Amazon forest, they have found another it's in Brazil. They found a new waterfall, and they think maybe it could be bigger than the Niagara Falls. So it's basically just a little fight going between the two people. The people who think it's the Amazon forest one or Niagara Falls, but still people can't go to visit that place because it's still way too dangerous, and if people go there, someone could get hurt, and many wild animals. Like there's like a leopard that lives there, and that's very dangerous. Al Bassin Head, Prince Edward Island. Okay. At Bassin Head, Prince Edward Island, there are singing sands on the beach. When you walk barefoot on the white sand, the sand makes a squeaking sound. The sand also sounds like a cat's meow if you jab your foot onto it. Nobody knows why the sand sings, but it's fun to listen to it. That would be so cool if I could go. So these are the singing sands, and that's the ocean. And it's called Bassin Head. Okay. In Alberta, there's a place where you can find real dinosaurs. It's called Dinosaur Provincial Park. The dinosaurs are not alive. They are buried in the earth and rock. You can see a fossil of dinosaur in the small picture above. A fossil is a mold of where bones used to be. So this dinosaur fossil in a rock. So it has been fossilized. This rock has been fossilized. And how exactly is it fossilized is because when the dinosaur dies, it doesn't just like stand there like that dinosaur. It falls down. So back when there weren't like sand or anything, right? There was not grass. There was grass, but mostly where dinosaurs used to live, if they existed, they would fall on a rock, and for thousands of years they would just lie there, and eventually they would their print, because if you like if you keep your finger on your skin for a long time, you know your hand color is pink, right? And you'll see a white dot. So if you keep that dinosaur bones there, it will make an imprint in the rock, or eventually just get stuck inside that rock. And this is a process of thousands. It takes a long time, way too long. And you can never wait that long. Trust me. Okay. Dinosaur Provincial Park also has hoodoos. Hoodoos are rocks shaped by wind and water. They are in the areas called badlands. Badlands are very dry, few plants grow there. In Vancouver, British Columbia, there are huge totem poles that were carved long ago by native peoples. The animals on the totem poles are symbols of native families. And you can probably remember I already mentioned totem poles in this book. And also, I might be sharing this at the end of the book. Oh, okay, that's funny. So we finished the book. Something I'd like to share. The natives, they used to think that that the earth was actually made on a turtle. And let me share that with you. So they said a long time ago there used to be only animals, and there was just water. There was water, and the whole world was full of water. There's no land, and just water animals and birds. Once a woman fell from the sky, and the birds saved her, but obviously there was no land. There was nowhere she could rest or anything. So there was this tortoise, and and then they put the woman on top of that tortoise. And the thing was that all the animals knew there was land beneath the water. And they needed to get down there, or they could take the land and try to bring it upwards and build whatever. So the woman swam to the bottom of the ocean or the water, and she bought grass and stuff, and she started putting it on the tortoise. Eventually, the natives say that the tortoise grew huge, and that tortoise is what we live on today, and that's what you call the land. My reason, I think, with the tortoise split into pieces, I'm not judging them or anything, but it's pretty fun. Like, it's a cool story. I don't know if that's still what they believe today. That was many years ago, plus that now people say that's a myth, so I don't think that's what they believe anymore. Anyways, if you enjoyed this book, please like, share, and subscribe. Today we earned 445 points. It's pretty good, and we read in 58 minutes. Not bad. This book was 35 pages long, so 58 minutes, and if there's this much on each page, so I think we did pretty quick. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.